right, guys, before we get into today's video, I want to let you all know that the next trip is to St. John, New Brunswick, Canada for the Complex Union Show Roll Call. The guys have invited me to be an honorary judge at this year's event on July 15th. It's been a few years since I've been to Canada, so I'm super excited to come hang out with all of you guys and can't wait to see what you guys bring for cars to the Roll Call event on July 15th. What's up, guys? Welcome back. I am finally home after 3 full weeks on the road in Europe, and I mean on the road. If you've seen the last few episodes on the channel from this whole Euro trip, you'll know that we quite literally drove clear across Europe in an Opel Kadett, starting in Wrocław, Poland after Ultrace, ending at Polaris Classic in southern England. Basically building the car halfway as well at Remco shop in the Netherlands. So I want to start this episode off by saying thank you. Thank you so much to everyone that we either stayed with, showed their hospitality, any of you that came up and said hi at any of the shows to just chat for a while or hang out. It brought me home with such a sense of motivation and inspiration. I mean, you guys inspire me. It's quite insane to just know that there's any of you out there interested in any of what's going on in this little shop with these little cars. So I wanted to start this episode by saying thank you. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't caught up on what happened in Europe, go back and watch the last few episodes. It is wild. So go check those episodes out. And thanks to everyone in Europe that helped make this trip possible. I can't wait for the next one. We're already putting some serious plans for 2024 in effect for Ultrace. So that's all I'll say right now. Got so much work to do in the next year, which is so crazy to even think about. But next year's going to be big, and I can't wait to bring you guys along with me for some of those plans, hopefully coming to fruition. Okay, so back home at the shop, you guys can see that I filled the shop up before I left, so nothing had to sit outside. Got the 700 on some dollies and just kitty-cornered back there in the shop. The 924S is home. My buddy Elliot from 944 Barn helped sort out the clutch issue, and we went and got this car before we left for Europe. So this is home, safe and sound, all ready to go. And a lot of you guys have been asking me, and the answer is yes, the 924S will be available. That will be for sale somewhat soon. There's still a few more things I want to do with the car and to the car. So stay tuned there because this car is going to help fund the Auto Union and a couple other projects I have on the burners here in the shop. So one other thing I wanted to show you guys before we start moving things around here in the shop is Falcon Tilt had made some trading cards back a few years ago, which had basically trading cards of cars inside them. And you could collect them. You could, they were kind of like mystery packages. You didn't know what came in them. But they included my Toyota Century in them. And I thought this was so cool. I did a build on this car back a few years ago. This is one of my dream cars. This is one of the 430 long wheelbase Toyota Centuries that Toyota built and never exported out of Japan. And it took me forever to find it. We drove it clear across America. I drove it from Seattle, Washington to New Hampshire, sight unseen, untested, right after driving my right-hand drive E23 7 Series from New Hampshire to Los Angeles. So that was a wild trip. That is documented on this channel back a few years ago. But this was really, really cool. I've got a couple of them here. One of them is already in a protective case out of my personal basketball card collection, which maybe might make an appearance on the channel at some point. I've got a collection of early 1980s Michael Jordan basketball cards. So I had some cool protective cases for them. I'll put this one in one as well. But I thought that was really cool that they included the Century on a few of the cars that they did on their trading card cases. All right, so I got to start rearranging some things. I left my open trailer up here in the yard in front of the bay doors because unfortunately with the enclosed trailer, I only have enough space to leave the open trailer down on the grass. And my neighbor Jody was so kind enough to mow the lawn while I was gone for the last 3 weeks. Now that I'm back, I'm going to put the open trailer back. That way I can get the Porsche out and get the 700 back in the bay. So I've got working space back in the shop. But it's nice to know that I can fit 4 small cars in the shop with the lift in there if I really needed it. All right, so I had this running earlier today. Had to run some errands. But boy, oh boy, did I miss the OBS. In Europe, they tow with any little car that they can get a tow hitch under. It is crazy. And I've known this from being in Europe before. But the idea of needing a big 1-ton diesel truck to tow a car is not even conceivable to them because you need all sorts of different licenses. You need a license to just haul a trailer. Then you're restricted to only being able to travel in the slow lane. You can't go faster than 60 kilometers an hour or 60 miles an hour. It's crazy. But although I still wish I was in Europe, it's cool to be home and be in a big old V8 diesel, turbo diesel Ford. All right, well, the trailer's put back just as the rain started. Unfortunately, kind of put a damper on today's plans because I wanted to take the Porsche 924S out, and I have some errands to run anyway, but wanted to take that car out. This thing looks so cool, though. I need to reiterate how amazing this rides on the custom air suspension setup. I used the Airlift, the new Airlift Performance Builder Series bags in the back. It's a dual bellow bag with an eyelet on top, eyelet on bottom, so it mounts in the factory shock location on the car where guys normally put coilovers. When they do a coilover conversion in these cars, they pull the torsion bars out and they put a coilover where the shock went. It's enough to handle the weight of the car. I know a lot of guys run a heavier grade lower bolt, which I've yet to do, but so far everything's been handling amazing. Front and rear sway bars, lays frame aired out, and handles like it's on coilovers. Better than coilovers because it's air, but it handles like it's on rails. This thing is just a dream to drive. This one's gonna be tough to part with. I knew it the second I got it done and how well it rides. This one's gonna be tough to part with, but it's part of the whole deal. It's part of the whole game here with what I do. This whole thing does not make enough money to keep all the cars and have a warehouse full of them. So I buy one, build it, sell it. And this one will not be a keeper like the Corvair, the 700, and maybe the Auto Union. The Corvair and 700 are the keepers because my father and I built them together. I do need to get the Porsche on the lift in the next few days since there is a few things I still need to do on that car. I need to do motor mounts and a few other small bits to get it ready for the possible trip out to the tail of the Dragon to do a compare contrast episode with Elliot from 944 Barn. For now, going to get the shop back, set up, and more on that later. I'm hoping we can do that next week, but we both have wild schedules in the next few weeks, so we'll see. Hopefully Tail of the Dragon Porsche 924S content coming very soon. All right, so the shop is long overdue for a good sweeping and organizing. So since it's super nice out today, I'm gonna take full advantage and pull the cars out. This thing's been sitting here for a few months and there's just a ton of just dust and dirt that have accumulated underneath the car. Yeah, just gonna give the shop a good cleaning, bring you guys along since this is what I'm doing the first weekend home from Europe. Always so tough to get in this thing when it's aired out. My gosh. All right. See what you got, old girl. Come on. All right, well, normally the Corvair is the most temperamental of them all when it hasn't been run in quite a while. So let's see. All right. Come on, come on, come on. All right, let it be known that I'm 38 years old and I honestly haven't touched my bike in probably 4 or 5 months. And just in the shop space, cramped here. There's no space in here. Just want to let y'all know that that took some serious effort. The rolling whiplash was a trick that I had as muscle memory way back in the day, but it's been probably almost a year since I've done one, and clearly I'm out of breath. I do calisthenics. I don't go to the gym, but I stretch and do calisthenics every single morning. But man, it runs a whole different series of muscles on the bike. I rode BMX professionally for almost 10 years, and this is actually my signature frame. I've talked about this on the channel. If you guys are longtime channel subscribers, you'll know that I rebuilt this up. This is my 2008 Versa frame that I designed myself. So it's pretty cool that all these years later, I still have that frame and can ride it today. So anyway, past time, whole nother life. Had all the cars outside though, and I felt like it was an appropriate time to not warm, but cold, get on the bike and do a few little maneuvers. Since I'm approaching 40, it feels really cool to get on my bike after almost a half a year not being on it, cold, and just doing some bunny hop flatland stuff. All right guys, Friday night, instead of an oil change, decided to go for a cruise in the Porsches. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And seriously, thank you so much for all of the support over the last 3 weeks on the Euro Tour. If you met up with me at any of the pop-up events or at any of the shows, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to say hello, to chat for a little bit, or to take a photo. It seriously means the world to me. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next episode, which should be from the Tail of the Dragon. It's going to be a fun episode. I cannot wait.